Good morning, children. Welcome to today's class. I hope you know about the live classes. That from the next week we are going to have our live classes. There you can interact with the teacher, and whatever queries you have there, you can clear your doubts. Okay. You just go through the chapter properly. If you have any doubt, you just get those. Uh, you can write those things, and during the live classes you can clear your doubts. As we were doing the revision work, revision of chapter matter, and we have almost finished the revision of this chapter, and we were doing some terms related to interconversion of states of matter. So there we had one process, that is evaporation. And evaporation, this was the process where during heating the liquid form turns into gaseous form. Okay, so here we need to apply heat, and this evaporation process has many practical effect of it, or practical uses where we use this evaporation process. Okay, so first of all, salt preparation from seawater. Salt from seawater, this we can get from this process of evaporation. As we know, seawater is salty. That means salt and other substances are dissolved in seawater. So if we apply heat or during the sunlight, uh, because of sunlight, the tremendous heat of sunlight, seawater evaporates, and only the water part evaporates. And after the all the water part getting evaporated, we are getting the salt. Okay, the salt will be left behind in the uh, seashore. So this is one practical example of evaporation. Another we can say as, suppose if we keep any fruit in open, if we keep any fruit, if we cut any fruit and keep it in open, then after some time we will see that it's getting dry. Okay, so fruit is having lot of water. We know that water, because of the heat of the environment, because of the as it's absorbing heat from surrounding, so the water part which is there in fruit, that will be evaporated, and uh, we will be getting the dry fruit. Okay, the fruit will be dried then because of the heat. Number 3, we have seen that if we keep any ink or this kind of suppose if keep any ink open, then after some time the ink get dried. This is another example of evaporation. Ink contain water, and when the water part that is absorbing heat from surrounding, from the atmosphere, and it's getting evaporated, the watery part will get evaporated, and only the pigments which is there in ink, that will be left behind in the container, and we will be getting the dried form of the ink. That means the ink uh, get dried. So this is one. We are having we generally what we do, wet clothes, dried, we keep in open, we spread it under the sun to get it dried. So there also, so this is drying of wet clothes. Okay, drying of wet clothes we are getting. fruit becomes dried. Okay, this we have already discussed. Okay, drying of ink. So all these are the practical example of evaporation. We are discussing about drying of wet clothes. uh, we keep the wet clothes in open, we spread it in open under the sun to get it dried. So wet clothes which contain water, the water gets evaporated because of the scorching heat of sun, or because of the heat absorbed from the atmosphere, from the weather, and uh, it gets evaporated and we are getting the dried clothes. Okay, so all these four, and other than this four, many other examples of evaporation are also there. So these are few of the examples which we are getting. uh, so these are the practical example of evaporation. Okay, next we are going to discuss about some the effect of heat. And because of heat, because of the effect of heat, we are getting some chemical reactions. Many chemical reactions are there, which because of the heat we are going to get the chemical reactions. So few of them we are going to discuss. So chemical change on heating. Because of heating, the chemical changes which we are getting, that we are going to discuss now. The first one, this is very common example of chemical change on heating, that is burning a piece of paper. Burning a piece of paper or piece of wood or whatever it may be. Okay, if we burn a piece of paper or wood that contain carbon, so the carbon, when we are burning that, the carbon part, that will combine with atmospheric oxygen. Here we are applying heat, we are supplying heat here. Okay, so the carbon will be combined with atmospheric oxygen and we are getting carbon dioxide along with light. Okay, along with light and heat. So this is our exothermic reaction, as we have already discussed, that here tremendous heat along with some light will be produced, and here carbon dioxide also we are getting along with some other side products, ashes and all. So here you can easily understand that if we burn a piece of paper, we cannot get it back in its original form. That is, after uh, getting the ash from the burnt paper, we cannot convert the burnt paper uh, into the proper paper as it was before the burning process and all. Okay, with wood also we will be getting the same thing. If we burn a piece of wood, then after getting the ash from the wood, after getting it burnt, we cannot get back the wood in its original form again. That means this process is a permanent process. This cannot be uh, interconvertible, it cannot be interchanged. Okay, and as this change is permanent and here we are getting the new thing, which we cannot convert back to the original form again. That's why this change or this process is a chemical process or chemical change, we will say. Okay, in chemical changes, in all chemical changes, we are getting some new substance. Okay, carbon dioxide which we are getting here, that is a new substance which is totally different from that of the paper or the carbon dioxide or the oxygen which is combining with that. So a new substance we are getting here during this process, and that's why this change is a chemical change. This process is a chemical process. Now another example which is all of you are very familiar with, that is burning of a candle. During the burning of a candle, we are getting two changes, two different changes we are getting here. This is number 2. Burning of a candle. So here, when we are lighting a candle, first of all we will be getting the some wax melts, and along with this change, along with the this we will be calling as melting of wax. So there will be two changes which we are getting, that is melting of wax, okay, and number B, that is burning of candle. Okay, the first one, this melting of wax, this is a physical change. What is physical change? Just now we have discussed about chemical change. So physical change is just opposite to this. Physical change, here we will be not getting any new substance. Okay, so this process, this physical changes, these are reversible process, just like boiling of water or melting of ice or freezing of water. These things, that means here we are not getting any new substance, but only the substance is changing its state. Okay, so melting of wax, during this process, from solid wax, the candle is made up of solid wax. So when we are lighting this candle, because of the heat, the candle melts and we are getting the melted melted wax. Okay, that is, the wax is in solid form. It was solid wax. The wax was solid in candle before the process, and when we are lighting the candle, because of the heat, the solid wax melts and we are getting the liquid form of the wax. Okay, so this process we will call as melting. Okay, this is the process of melting of wax. So from solid wax we are getting the melting liquid wax, but the composition is same. Here we are, this is not a new substance, this is the same substance but in different state. It was before the process it was in solid form, and after applying heat or because of the heat it melts and we are getting the liquid wax. That means here we are not getting any new substance, the composition or the substance is same only, but its form is different, its state is different. That's why this change we will call as physical change, as we are not getting any new substance here. Okay, but what about burning of candle? During this process, during burning of candle, here again we are having In candle, again we are having carbon in it. Okay, carbon and other substances are there. So this carbon of candle, that will combine with atmospheric oxygen, and here again we are getting carbon dioxide, some water vapor, water in vapor form we will get, along with heat and light. Okay, so this process, again you can understand that carbon and oxygen, these two are different substances than that of carbon dioxide and water vapor. Okay, that means here we are getting new substance. New substances are formed here in this process. That's why this process is a chemical change. If we want to get back the candle again, get back the carbon in its original form from this carbon dioxide and water vapor, we cannot do that because this process is not reversible process. Okay, this process is temporary, and once we get the product or new substance from the original one, we cannot convert it back to the original substance again. That's why this chemical changes, all the chemical changes generally, these are permanent change. Okay, this cannot be reversed back. So and because of this burning of candle, you will notice that if we burn a candle, if we light a candle, slowly its volume will decrease, slowly its size will reduce. Okay, and that we cannot uh, uh, come to the original size again. Okay, we cannot get back the original size again, as carbon dioxide and water vapor which is formed, that will get mixed into the atmosphere, and that we cannot get back. That's why the size of the candle reduces after a certain time. Okay, so today after this, you go through this chapter properly, and you whatever doubts you have, you just note it down, and during the live classes you can ask your queries, you can clear your doubts. Okay, so till then, have a good day. Thank you.